Yeah, so we're dying into life. We're living into, let's say, death. We're living through it, say. And we're dying through life. Right? So both are through. See? They're both steps. See? And I'm not going to say that it's good just to meditate on dying. And so we have too much to do here in the meantime. But being fearless about death, I think, is very important for peace. It can take care of itself, and it will take care of itself. And with a more positive attitude, a more loving and happy attitude, a positive disposition, more humor in your life, then you see you have a different level of longevity. Okay? A wise person is always laughing, inwardly if not outwardly, okay? Because they know what peace and silence is. If you keep your peace and keep your silence, so to speak, you have a lot to laugh about. And so regarding dying, well, it's really about living. And I think gratitude as the attitude is very important at all stages for every step of the path. And I think it's comforting for some people to know that there is no dying. It's passing. So I use the word dying, that's a little bit too fatalistic in a sense. It's passing. The dying, that's just like a plant dying, and then creature dying, and what you see as a carcass. It's really more meditation on the carcass than the real thing that happens. So you can't be meditating on the carcass, right? You want to pass through this, that, and whatever shows up. It's something to pass through. Get beyond, that means pass through it. Yeah, whatever, everything arising, pass through it. It's good meditation. Come on.
I've always wondered at the, let's say, the value we place on our own lives, and then the willingness to sometimes give up your life in a split second for someone else. Like, you know, that I guess it's a way of saying generosity. Extraordinary generosity.
I mean, there's a lot spoken in the traditions, and we're not just talking about the traditions, religious traditions. We're talking about public servants. They're here to die in the name of duty. Say firemen, policemen. Protectors of society. See? And that could be anybody. That's a heroic impulse in them. They're going to jump right in the face of death and do what they have to do to protect themselves on this. It just happens. You don't have to plan for it. You don't have to feel you can't do it. When the circumstances are right, you're going to jump up and do it. If it's yours to do. If the circumstances are right, then you're not going to jump up and do it. If it's the right thing for you to do. And let someone else do it. Because sometimes you want to do it, but you're held back. Because it's not your time to do it. And that's an interesting paradox. When it comes to your own people, you can't budge, you're frozen. Paralysis shows up. There's nothing you can do about it. You want to run into the house, the house is on fire, you just can't do it. You're not able to do it, because it's not your time to do it. It's not a lack of courage or anything, you just can't. I mean, the force is greater than your ego. Come on now, peeps. When you're allowed to do it, when there's an openness, when there's alignment, then you're there. When it's alignment for you to win, you win. It's alignment for you to lose, that's what it is. Or appear to lose for your debt, for your lesson there. You shouldn't be too egoic about certain things, too proud or too whatever. Righteous, too needy, too greedy. Look at what you have. Hold that precious. See that there's nothing to have. That's precious. Going back to ancient native approach to things. We already have it all. We're breathing. We're being. What more do we need, really? But we can muster, as humans with egos, we can muster a whole bunch more. We need mountains. Mountains and mountains. We need worlds upon worlds. And we'll eat them all. Like pastries. Kill ourselves in the process. Blow up. Come on.
Is there a certain karmic consideration to giving one's life for another?
Is there consideration?
Karmic consideration or
Well, if you're
outcome.
moved to do it, you do it. It's not even being moved. It happens. We have to get back to an original, like pure impulse happening. See? Nothing happens. Really. Nothing happens. Then we go on instinct, and nothing happens. Nothing happens. Right. You become a superwoman or a superman because nothing's happening, but it's time for you to be a superman, and you lift a car up, and you have good reason to do it. You have more infinitely more strength than you ever imagined and ever trained for. It's the potential. See? And sometimes it's not for you to decide. Okay? So your decision making is not superior enough. See? It's not advanced enough to know what to decide under certain conditions. It just happens. And you find a lot of heroes that say, I don't know what happened. So-called hero, I'm just doing my job. And the bullets are flying everywhere, and you know, I forgot about them. I had to save my men. And I just did it. I don't know why. But anybody in my position could have done it. And he's telling the truth, or she's telling the truth in that moment. It just happens. It's like your sail is up and the wind comes in. And you're doing it. And it's done. Right? You come out with slight wounds or whatever, and you're awarded, and you think, I don't know what they're awarding me for. I mean, I'm alive. You know, I've been awarded already. I've been rewarded because I saved my people. It's the heart right thing to do.
And so let's say one dies in the moment of saving their people. What happens to them? In other words, is that good karma? Is that
Well, I would leave that to your imagination. Right? Some would say, what better way to go to that than that? Jesus said that. Comment?
He who loses his life finds his life.
What great sacrifices there. Give your life. This is enlightenment in that. Because there's sacrifice in that. There is self-transcending in that. See? It's risky. It's high risk. Right? But caring for another person, there's beauty in that because there's compassion in that. See? There's holiness, there's sanctity in that. But you don't know that till you get there.
And who sacrifices?
Yes, exactly. Right. No one sacrifices. But then, what? For what reason, though? And you realize it at that point. Once you've made that sacrifice, if you can get to that place, see, well, as Jesus said, you gain it all. And what is that all? See, just completion, knowing that nothing happened, and goodness prevails.
So would you say that all giving is receiving?
All giving?
Yes.
I've said that already. All giving is receiving. All receiving is giving. Yes. Not that I know anything, but it sounds good. It sounds correct. It's heart to heart.